When we're young, life often feels like a race, a fast-moving chase after success, recognition, and stability. We spend our days climbing ladders, setting goals, and pouring our energy into building careers, raising families, and securing our future. And along the way, certain things feel urgent, even non-negotiable. We believe that what matters most is achieving more, earning more, and proving ourselves to the world. But time has a way of reshaping us. As the years pass, something gentle begins to happen. The constant noise of ambition softens. The pressures that once seemed so heavy begin to lose their grip. And slowly, almost without noticing, our priorities start to shift. We realize that the things we once sacrificed, sleep and peace for, may not have been as important as we thought. The promotions, the pay raises, the big purchases, while they may have brought moments of satisfaction, they didn't always bring lasting fulfillment. And as we reach our 60s and beyond, we begin to see life through a different lens. The priorities that rise to the surface now feel simpler, but far more meaningful. Health becomes more precious than wealth. Deep conversations matter more than crowded calendars. Time with loved ones feels far richer than any material possession. And instead of constantly chasing what's next, we learn to find peace in the present moment. Aging isn't just about growing older. It's about growing wiser. It's about discovering what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. The years teach us lessons that youth couldn't fully grasp. In today's reflection, I want to share with you the 5 biggest ways that aging has transformed my priorities. Perhaps you'll find echoes of your own journey here. And maybe together we'll be reminded of the beauty that comes with seeing life from this new, gentler perspective. In my younger years, ambition was the engine that drove nearly everything I did. I worked long hours, chased promotions, and constantly set new goals. The energy of youth seemed endless, and I often believed that sacrificing sleep, skipping meals, and ignoring small health concerns were simply part of the cost of success. "I'll rest later," I told myself. "I have too much to do right now." Back then, it felt noble, even necessary, to push myself beyond my limits. I wanted to provide for my family, build a career I could be proud of, and achieve the kind of stability I never saw growing up. Like so many others, I wore my busyness like a badge of honor. The idea that health might one day become my most valuable asset simply didn't occur to me. But time has a way of teaching us what youth does not. As I moved into my 60s, the signals from my body grew louder. The aches lingered longer. The fatigue arrived faster. The annual checkups revealed numbers I had once ignored or postponed addressing. Suddenly, I realized that good health wasn't something I could take for granted. It was something I should have been nurturing all along. Ambition, while it had brought certain rewards, could never replace the simple gift of waking up pain-free, of having energy to play with grandchildren, or of being able to enjoy a quiet walk without shortness of breath. These ordinary moments revealed themselves as the true luxuries of life. If I could speak to my younger self, I would gently remind him, "Your career will always be there. The world's expectations will never run out. But your body, your health, it is not infinite. Take care of it while you can." Today, my priorities have shifted completely. I schedule doctor visits and actually keep them. I make time for daily walks, for balanced meals, for quiet rest. I listen to my body when it whispers, so it doesn't have to shout. Sleep is no longer something to sacrifice for deadlines. It's something I protect fiercely. More importantly, I've come to understand that health isn't just physical. Mental and emotional well-being are equally essential. I practice mindfulness, allowing myself quiet moments to breathe, to reflect, and to release stress. I surround myself with people who uplift rather than drain me, and I recognize the importance of asking for help when I need it, without shame or pride getting in the way. The pursuit of ambition often taught me to delay joy, to put off vacations, hobbies, or simple pleasures in favor of work. But now I see clearly that joy is not a luxury for someday. It's a vital part of health right now. Laughter, meaningful connections, time in nature, these are not distractions from life's purpose. They are the purpose. Ironically, it took growing older to finally understand that true success is not measured in titles or bank accounts, but in the ability to live fully, vibrantly, and peacefully. Health gives us that ability. Without it, the accomplishments of youth lose much of their shine. I don't regret my ambition entirely. It built the life I have today, but I do wish I had placed my health higher on the list sooner, not as an afterthought, but as a foundation. Because now I know ambition may build a life, but health allows you to enjoy it. When I was younger, like many people, I believed that possessions were the markers of a successful life. A bigger house, a newer car, the latest gadgets. These were symbols that I was doing well. I worked hard not only to provide for my family, but also to achieve the kind of material comfort I thought would bring happiness. I chased the next purchase, the next promotion, the next financial goal. And, for a time, there was a certain thrill in acquiring things. The satisfaction of buying something new, the pride in owning nice things. It felt like progress. But as the years passed, a quiet realization began to take hold. The joy that came from possessions was often brief, while the joy from meaningful relationships lingered far longer. No matter how nice the house, it was the laughter shared around the dinner table that made it feel like home. No matter how new the car, it was the road trips filled with conversations and shared memories that truly mattered. The gadgets eventually grew outdated, but the friendships and family bonds deepened with each passing year. As I entered my 60s, this shift in perspective became undeniable. The value of relationships with family, friends, and community far outweighed any possession I could own. I began to see that the real wealth of life was not counted in dollars or belongings, but in the people who stood beside me through life's many seasons. Children grow up, grandchildren arrive, friendships mature, and each relationship brings a depth of joy that no material object can replace. A simple afternoon spent talking with an old friend can warm the heart for days. A grandchild's hug carries more comfort than any expensive gift. A quiet evening with a spouse, holding hands and sharing stories, brings a peace that money cannot buy. Even during difficult times, illnesses, losses, or financial setbacks, it was never my possessions that sustained me. It was the people who offered comfort, who listened, who showed up. Their presence provided a kind of strength that no amount of wealth could duplicate. I've also come to understand that relationships require care and attention, just like any valuable possession. Time spent together, open conversations, forgiveness when mistakes are made. These are the ways we tend and nurture the connections that truly matter. Unlike possessions, relationships don't depreciate with age. They grow richer when we invest in them. Looking back, I wish I had prioritized more dinners at home over late nights at the office, more weekends with family over extra shifts, more calls to old friends instead of chasing the next big thing. The moments I treasure most now are not the ones where I earned or acquired something new, but the ones where I shared life with people I love. In this season of life, I've learned to release my attachment to things. The clutter of possessions holds less appeal. I no longer feel the pull to accumulate, to impress, or to keep up. Instead, I focus on creating memories, strengthening bonds, and being fully present with those who matter most. Because at the end of the day, when the house grows quiet and the busyness fades, it's not the things that fill your heart. It's the people. Possessions may fill a house, but relationships fill a life. In my earlier years, I often believed that accumulating wealth was the surest path to security and happiness. Like many people, I measured success by the size of my bank account, the growth of my investments, and the possessions I could afford. I worked tirelessly, always striving for more, not out of greed, but out of a sincere desire to build a comfortable life for my family and myself. Money felt like a safety net, a way to shield my loved ones from hardship, to prepare for unexpected expenses, and to provide the kind of opportunities I wished I'd had growing up. And while financial stability is undeniably important, time has taught me that wealth alone cannot create a fulfilling life. As I entered my 60s, a subtle but profound shift occurred. I began to notice that the things I remembered most vividly, the moments that warmed my heart, were not tied to how much money I had, but to the experiences I had lived. It wasn't the paycheck that brought me joy, but the vacation where my children built sand castles on the beach. It wasn't the size of my retirement account that comforted me, but the road trip where my spouse and I sang along to old songs with the windows down. The memories that surface most often are not tied to financial milestones, but to simple, meaningful experiences shared with the people I love. Experiences have a way of enriching our lives in ways that wealth cannot. They become stories we tell, lessons we pass down, and moments we revisit in quiet reflection. Whether it's a family gathering filled with laughter, a quiet walk through the woods, or even learning a new skill later in life, these experiences bring lasting satisfaction. Travel in particular has become a cherished priority. Visiting new places, meeting different people, and seeing the world through fresh eyes has expanded my understanding and appreciation for life. Even small local trips offer opportunities for discovery and connection that no material possession can replace. Beyond travel, experiences can be found in the everyday, watching a grandchild take their first steps, sharing a heartfelt conversation with a dear friend, or simply sitting quietly and witnessing a beautiful sunset. These moments cost little or nothing, yet they offer a wealth of joy. I've also discovered that creating experiences for others brings its own form of happiness. Taking my grandchildren to the park, surprising my spouse with a spontaneous day trip, or organizing a simple family dinner. These shared experiences strengthen bonds and create memories that endure far beyond any financial gift. In the past, I sometimes delayed experiences, telling myself that there would be time for vacations, hobbies, or adventures later, after I'd saved enough, retired, or reached a certain level of security. But life has shown me that postponing joy is a gamble. The opportunity to create meaningful memories exists now, and the value they bring far exceeds their cost. Today, my focus has shifted from building wealth to building a rich life, one filled with experiences that bring connection, growth, and gratitude. Money, while still necessary for stability, has become a tool to support these experiences rather than an end goal in itself. If I could offer advice to my younger self, it would be this: don't wait to live, invest in moments, not just in accounts. Because at the end of your journey, it's not the wealth you've stored that you'll hold most dear. It's the memories you've made. In my younger years, I was often driven by a quiet but persistent desire to get everything right. Whether it was my career, my family, my finances, or even how others perceived me, I wanted things to be perfect. I chased high standards, set lofty goals, and measured my success by how closely I could meet them. Mistakes felt heavy, and imperfections felt like personal failures. Perfection seemed like the path to security, acceptance, and pride. I believed that if I worked hard enough, planned carefully enough, and pushed myself just a little more, I could build a life free of regrets, setbacks, or disappointments. But life, of course, has its own plans. No matter how carefully I tried to control the pieces, there were always unexpected twists, illnesses, losses, disappointments, and moments when life simply didn't cooperate. Over time, I learned the hard truth: perfection is an illusion. It can never be fully reached, and the constant striving for it often steals the very peace we're hoping to find. As I've grown older, my priorities have shifted dramatically. Today, I no longer aim for perfection. I aim for inner peace. I've come to understand that it's not about having everything exactly as I once imagined, but about learning to find contentment even when life is imperfect. Peace comes from acceptance, from recognizing that mistakes are part of growth, that not every problem has a perfect solution, and that some things are simply beyond our control. I've learned to forgive myself for choices that didn't turn out as I'd hoped, and to release the heavy burden of wishing I had done things differently. Inner peace also means letting go of the need to control others. In my younger days, I sometimes tried to fix people, to steer them toward what I thought was best. But with time, I've come to honor everyone's personal journey. I offer advice when asked, love without condition, and trust that each person must walk their own path. I've also discovered the importance of simplifying. When I declutter my schedule, my home, and even my mind, I create space for peace to grow. I no longer feel the need to say yes to every request or to fill every moment with activity. Rest, reflection, and quiet have become precious companions. Perhaps most importantly, I've learned to stay present. Much of my early anxiety came from living either in the past, replaying old mistakes, or in the future, worrying about what might go wrong. But peace lives in the present, in the simple act of being here now with an open heart. I no longer chase after every opportunity or exhaust myself trying to keep up with others. I measure my days not by how much I've achieved, but by how gently I've moved through them. Did I listen with kindness? Did I offer patience? Did I find moments of joy, however small? These have become my new markers of a successful day. Perfection was always out of reach, but peace, true, lasting peace, has been waiting all along. It required only that I stop striving and start accepting. And in that acceptance, I've found a depth of happiness that my younger self could barely imagine. Because in the end, a peaceful heart carries far more weight than a perfect life ever could. When I was younger, much of my energy was focused on building a career, earning a living, securing a home, and ensuring that my family had everything they needed. And truthfully, there was a sense of pride in achieving those things. Each new accomplishment felt like a small victory, a sign that my hard work was paying off. There's nothing wrong with striving to provide. In many ways, that drive helped shape the stability I enjoy today. But what I didn't fully realize back then is that while receiving and accumulating may bring temporary satisfaction, it's in giving that we find the deepest, most lasting fulfillment. As I've grown older, my priorities have shifted from what I can gain to what I can offer. Giving doesn't always mean grand gestures or large sums of money. In fact, some of the most meaningful ways we give cost nothing at all. It's the time we offer to someone who needs a listening ear. It's the wisdom we share from our own life experiences, hoping it may ease someone else's journey. It's the simple acts of kindness, a warm smile, a heartfelt compliment, or lending a hand when no one else notices. With age, I've come to cherish these quiet opportunities to give. I no longer feel the pressure to accumulate or prove my worth through what I own. Instead, I find joy in how I can make someone's day lighter, their burden smaller, or their heart a bit warmer. One of the great joys of this season of life is giving to the next generation. Watching my children and grandchildren grow, I see moments where my guidance can help them avoid the mistakes I once made. But even more, I see that my presence, my encouragement, and my steady support mean more than any material gift I could offer. I've also found that giving often comes back in unexpected ways. A simple act of generosity can create ripples that return to us in the form of deeper relationships, unexpected kindness, or even just the quiet satisfaction of knowing we've made a small difference. In community, too, giving brings purpose. Whether it's volunteering, mentoring, or simply being involved, these connections remind me that my life still has much to contribute. There is always someone who could benefit from our time, our skills, or simply our company. There's a beautiful irony in aging. As our physical energy may wane, our capacity to give from the heart often grows stronger. We no longer seek applause or recognition. We give because it feels right, because it brings peace, and because we've come to understand that life's greatest meaning often lies in how we touch the lives of others. Even in loss or difficult times, giving offers healing. When we reach out to support others who are struggling, we often find our own burdens feel lighter. There's a shared humanity in giving, a reminder that we are all walking this path together. Looking back, I wish I had embraced this sooner. The pursuit of getting may have built my foundation, but the practice of giving has built my joy. Because in the end, the legacy we leave behind isn't measured by what we gathered, but by what we gave away, in love, in kindness, in time, and in presence. As we reflect on how aging has gently shifted our priorities, perhaps you too recognize some of these changes in your own journey. The things we once chased so fiercely now seem less urgent. In their place, we've found a deeper appreciation for health, for meaningful relationships, for simple experiences, for inner peace, and for the quiet joy of giving. These aren't lessons we're taught in school or in the early rush of life. They are lessons gifted by time itself, lessons earned through years of living, loving, struggling, and learning. And as we embrace them, we discover that growing older isn't about losing something. It's about gaining a new kind of wisdom, one that allows us to see what truly matters with clearer eyes and softer hearts. Here on this channel, we'll continue sharing these gentle reflections, stories, lessons, and quiet moments that speak to the beauty of life after 60. If today's video resonated with you, I warmly invite you to stay with us, subscribe, join our growing community, and let's continue walking this path together, one thoughtful conversation at a time. And if you know someone, a friend, a sibling, a parent, who may find comfort in these reflections, feel free to share this video with them. Sometimes, hearing that others feel the same can bring great peace to someone's heart. Until next time, may your days ahead be filled with calm, with love, and with the quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be in this beautiful chapter of life.